Hey everyone, welcome to MasterSwagKing Comics and Manga. I am MasterSwagKing, aka MSK, and this will be the first video that I upload to the channel. And I wanted it to be the first video because in this video, you will obviously be able to get to know me a little bit, and I can let you guys know the content that I will be uploading to this channel. And everything in this video is numbered 1 through 5 for the most important things I want you guys to take away from this video. And if you are listening on your mobile devices, because I know a lot of people just consume videos just by listening to them, don't worry if you can't look at the screen. I have everything numbered 1 through 5. So during different portions of the video, I will just tell you which number we're on. So that way, if you're not able to look at the screen, you can just continue listening to the video. So let's just start off this video with number 1. And this is the most important thing when it comes to basically any YouTube channel that has ever existed, is that if you are new to the channel or if you are just discovering the channel by any chance in YouTube's big giant atmosphere of a platform, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to always do that. Leave a like on the videos. Comment down below and turn on notifications. The reason why you leave a like on the video is because that would tell YouTube that you obviously like this kind of content. And if you comment down below, that creates engagement, and that also pushes the videos up in the algorithm, because that is telling YouTube, hey, people want to see more of this content. These people actually like this content a lot, actually. And you turn on notifications, because that way when I upload a video, you can just automatically get it and you can watch it and consume it however you choose to. All right, number 2. So my comic book and manga origins are separate, but they're kind of one and the same. So for starters, I want to let everyone know this. I don't have a comic book shop in the town that I live in, actually. So the way we kind of got comic books was pretty obscure, actually. Either basically, you know, we got them through a newspaper subscription service, you know how old you have to be to remember that, or you basically kind of went to your school library, and hopefully if they had anything like that, you would just obviously, you know, be able to, you know, go check it out, go home and read it, which I did. And I'm going to explain that just in a little bit, right? So for comic books, the very first comic book related anything I'd ever received in my life was this Spider-Man villain character encyclopedia. It's this little like black trade paperback kind of thing like this, where it just detailed all of his villain origin stories at that current moment in time and the current run that you could check out, actually. If I ever have a chance to find that book, I would love to go through it as an adult again, because that was the first ever comic book anything that I received, and I absolutely loved that little Spider-Man villain encyclopedia. It was absolutely amazing. I loved it as a kid. And later on after that, during that same year, because when I was a kid and I got that for Spider-Man encyclopedia, I was in 6th grade in 2006. So that's when I was in intermediate school. And then after that, I think later on that year, I went to the library, and then I got an even bigger encyclopedia for Spider-Man, and I just absolutely fell in love with that too. So yeah, that's technically how I got into this stuff, is I just, hey, so my brother got a Spider-Man encyclopedia. And we just like read it together. And then I went to school that later on that month, and I checked out the bigger one. Obviously, I just enjoyed reading. That's why I found about Spider-Man 2099 and a whole bunch of other things about Spider-Man, right? So also in that same time frame, we got Spider-Man comic books, like floppies, right? And it's because my mom had a newspaper subscription, and that was kind of like the only way I was able to get like Spider-Man comics. I got them weekly. This was around the time of the like Spider-Man Tobey Maguire trilogy, actually, for Spider-Man. And this was, I think, before Spider-Man 3 came out, actually, because but the first ever live-action super movie I ever watched was the first Spider-Man movie. So, you know, I had the Spider-Man video games for the GameCube. Obviously, we had the movies. I had the Spider-Man comic books, actually. I was obviously still a huge Spider-Man fan. I love Spider-Man. It's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. So, and then after that, we didn't really have any more floppies because I kind of lost all that stuff in a house fire, actually. And later on, I just kind of was able to consume comic book stuff kind of just by reading it online, actually, like going through like character bio pages and stuff like that, kind of figuring out, okay, where are these characters at currently? And it was quite a bit of task, but I managed to keep up with it throughout the years. And then come 2016, I was at Walmart and I saw this like comic book triple pack for like DC's back when they were doing like the comic book triple packs. Remember, you guys remember those actually? So I bought one. This was back when like Rebirth first started, and then it had Batman on there, so I just bought it actually. But I was able to keep up with a lot of stuff. I just had to read it online, and I know that's not a preferred way for people, but I if I didn't do that, I wouldn't actually be here right now. So it was a way that I had to consume the content that they were putting out, and I got a chance to read a lot of stories actually, and you know, some good, some bad, some great, some really terrible. Manga origins. So, it was actually easier to get manga when I was a kid, more than comic books, actually, because, as you guys know, when my town, a lot of people that actually like manga out here, and my local Walmart actually kept manga. They had Bleach, they had Naruto, they had One Piece, they had those Dragon Ball Z omnibuses that collects like, the ones from like that era where you get like the first 3 volumes of the Dragon Ball Z manga. Yeah, they had those actually. We had them as kids. I remember my brother spent money on them. Actually, but you lose that stuff over time, actually, and I remember just basically getting Shonen Jumps every single month. I think I went to a Blockbuster actually, and this was around 2007 actually. And I went to a Blockbuster. I saw a Shonen Jump book and I bought it. It was the Shonen Jump book where, gosh, which arc was that on? It was like when Naruto. It was like when they were or when Orochimaru attacks the Hidden Leaf Village, and it was also around the time period like the GX manga just started. Like it's when I got exposed to like Gintama. One Piece was in like that Alabasta arc before they went to go to Chopper actually. So yeah, I had been already getting like Naruto manga volumes because Naruto's one of my favorite animes, obviously. Then I had Shonen Jumps actually, so that's kind of like my manga origins, and now obviously I have way more stuff obviously, later on as the year. All right, so number 3. Depending on the story is how I feel. So I know there's a lot of like comic book YouTube channels out there that kind of like, I'm not saying teeter the line, but a lot of the audience comes to expect that as the norm and standard for how you should feel about stories. I'm not doing that, okay? I am not doing this to get like review copies. I'm not doing this to basically suck off anybody. I'm not doing that, okay? So I'll just give you as an example, okay? Right here, I have Batman Volume 1, I Am Gotham. This is from, obviously, DC Rebirth, Tom King's run. Okay, so, this is an example. When I read this, okay, let's say I like it. That's how I feel. If I don't like it, that's how I feel. If I feel mixed about it, then I'll just tell you how I feel, right? Depending on the story is how I will feel, okay? So, I'm not just going to like something just because everyone else likes it. I'm not just going to obviously do that vice versa, or I would just like not like because everyone else is not liking it. It's not how that works with me. If I like something, you're just going to get my honest opinions about it. And if I don't like it, you will get my honest opinions about it. And if I obviously am mixed about it, you'll get my mixed feelings about it. Probably the best way I can explain it to a lot of people. Because, I know there is a good amount of negativity in the scene. And there's also a good amount of positivity in the scene. I'm one of those people where, it's a case-by-case basis with whatever story, whichever character you're talking about, actually, with me personally. So that's just kind of the best way that I can explain it to you guys, okay? But believe me, I'll try to be as happy as possible given how much not good stuff that exists out here. But, there's also a lot of good stuff that exists as well. Alright, comic book related content to expect in the channel. So, that means anything, right? So, I'll start like this off too, because I want to get this out of the way initially, which is indie comic books. I will review indie comic books on the channel. I have reviewed indie comic books before. I did it on the Iron Man podcast, and you will see those comic book reviews uploaded to the channel, actually. Just because an indie comic book may not get the amount of views that a Batman story or a Spider-Man story or a Superman story or X-Men story, will, doesn't mean I'm not going to review it. I'm not view-based like a lot of people. I don't care, actually. The review of the indie comic book, whether it be good or bad, however I feel about the story, is helpful to that indie creator, and I will review any comic books on the channel, actually. So, comic book related content, comic book news, as far as like if any news pops up, right? I don't mean movie news or comic book movie news as far as that. I mean comic book news as of like, remember when it was announced that DC and Marvel are teaming up for the Amalgam comics with doing an omnibus of like the crossover storylines that they did a long time ago. Yeah, stuff like that, where it's like, Ghost Machine selling out, stuff like that. Comic book news, okay? So you comic book reviews. I'm going to do breakdowns, actually, discussion videos on all that stuff. You're going to get comic book hauls, actually, and comic book hauls are very, very fun, and I enjoy doing them. And the other most important thing to go over is how I'm going to review the comic books, actually. So I have a new one and a, old one right here. Okay, so this is how the best way I can explain it to a lot of people, which is, okay, Batman Beyond. Okay, I've never read a Batman Beyond comic book in my life. I've watched the show, obviously. So, in order for me to really review this at the most, I'll say cheapest, but at the best and most consistent way, if it's a series that's basically already done and it's already concluded in some way, instead of just doing all the issues one by one for like the back issues for like whatever story I'm currently on, I'm just going to go through the trades up until wherever it ends. So let's say Batman Beyond Rebirth has like 8 trades. Let's say they have 8 trade paperbacks. I will get all 8 trade paperbacks and review them instead of just getting all the back issues. Because there's really just no point in getting like freaking 40 back issues for something when I could just get like 8 trades and it's way cheaper, right? Now, if it's a new current ongoing story, right? Like if it's something that I basically have to wait a month to month for, that you will expect reviews from. Ultimate Spider-Man, obviously. This is new, and it's only up to like issue, I think, 4 or 3 coming up, actually. So this, I would obviously review issue 1, then 2, then 3, and then when the trade comes out, I'll make a different type of review video for the trade, but that's kind of the realm I would like to go in, because I know a lot of people kind of review the back issues and stuff like that. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind doing that. It would really just depend on how I can kind of change that up, though. But I think it's just way more cost effective and way better if I just basically, if there's a character I'm really interested in, go to that specific story arc that whatever arc exists for the character, and then just get the trades and review all of them up to the point where it's over, or get the omnibus, actually, right? So between trade paperbacks and omnibuses, that's what I would do for character story arcs that are already completed or, currently ongoing in terms of like where that's going to end up in that specific story arc, right? But if it's for something new, like let's use another example so people can understand, like the new Transformers stuff from Skybound and Image Comics, right? So this is a different story. So basically, if I haven't had a chance to review these single issues first, and if there's a trade coming up, I'll just review the trade, all the issues in there, and then continue off of where the trade left off if it's not like too far out of the realm of possibility of catching up. So currently right now, the trade for the new Transformers stuff is coming out in May, and they're going to be on issue 8, I think, at the time. So that's not too far to catch up, where I would just get the trade, review the trade, then go on issue 7, and then go to issue 8, and then obviously I could just go from there. So there's 3 different ways to really do it, but I want you guys to understand that's the way that I'm going to do it, because it's the best, most effective way for us to keep up with what's going on currently, as well as go over stories from the past as well, while being also cost effective, while also not having like a ton of floppies just lying around, and I like buying floppies, but hunting down back issues, it's not like a bad thing to me personally. But it's just like, hey, it's way better if I just like got this book in a trade and it's just all consumable right there, compared to like, hey, I'm gonna hunt down all these like 20 different back issues, because yeah, your boy is not got that much time on his hands sometimes, All right, so manga related content pretty much goes just the same. Obviously, manga news, right? Manga reviews and breakdowns and hauls and all that stuff. I'll probably have to ask you guys if you would prefer to have a manga haul separate from my comic book haul. I'll probably, ask you guys about that. But for the most part, when you guys expect like comic book hauls, manga would be like obviously, included in that too. Or I might just kind of title it the same, that way you guys can expect both manga and comics in the same videos, actually. So the videos you will see after this one, So on my main YouTube channel, MasterSwagKing, I did do comic book reviews on that channel, but I wanted to obviously separate that content because people that are just interested in comic book and comic book related content and manga book and manga related content could just come here, obviously. So you guys will see reviews coming up that I've already done, so it's not content I have to just record again, which is from like, you know, the Rippaverse. So we reviewed all of Eric July's comics. Actually, I saw 1, 2, Alpha Core. I reviewed Ghost Machine, and I have to redo my Ultimate Spider-Man #1 review, going up to where it's currently at now. And then I did a few indie comics. Actually, I did 3 indie comics actually, and you guys will get that content as well. So yeah. Just wanted to make sure this was everything I had to explain to you guys, because it's obviously something I want you guys to understand and know, because that way you're like, okay, this guy's not, you know, just blindsiding me with anything randomly. This is what I can expect coming from this channel. I have so many great ideas that I want to do on the channel, obviously. And obviously, guys, you know, I like Invincible a lot. I love the Invincible comics, actually. Currently, for Invincible, I plan on going through all the hardcovers for reviews, and I know a lot of people kind of like reviews kind of like this video form, with people doing stuff like this. For me, it really just depends. I could just literally just flip through the pages, actually, so I know a lot of people like that too. We're gonna kind of experiment with it. Some, I guess with like floppies, I could more or less so do that, like flip through the pages, actually, and for trades, I could just kind of just do the same thing. So it just depends, obviously. If I'm doing a review kind of like this that I did in the past with Professor Savage Dad, you'll see a review like that. But if I'm like just on my own, and I can just get up my camera, and I can just put my smartphone on my tripod, I could just do a comic review, just flipping through the pages. So it's something that I'm going to experiment with. I'm going to see like what kind of content you guys personally gravitate to more, and I'll kind of see just what is more that I can produce for you guys that you guys are going to really enjoy. So those are the 5 things that you can expect from the channel. And the first thing is that I need you guys to do this, which is, you know, subscribing to the channel, liking the video, comment down below, turn on notifications, obviously. You got my comic book and manga origins for #2. #3, you got how I'm gonna choose to go about the stories depending on how I feel, and then you had #4, which is comic book related content, and #5, which is manga related content. So thank you guys for checking out this video. You guys are absolutely amazing. Let's go on this journey of comics and manga together. You guys haven't seen anything yet. I am MSK, Master Swag King, and I'm signing out, guys. See you guys later. Peace, deuces, goodbye.